Hello everyone, welcome to join us. This is Steven from the Chance of China. Think with the chance, find the difference. Today we are going to talk about the mycotoxins in the world, in the feed industries. As you know, mycotoxin is a very big problem in the feed industry. Uh, Mycotoxins are toxic compounds produced by some types of fungi growing in the feed ingredients. These fungi can infect grains in the field as well as during the harvest, handling and storage, and also the transportation. So although currently more than 200 mycotoxins have been identified, but it is believed that only a few influenced the productive and reproductive performance of the pigs. So today we are going to talk about the specific mycotoxins on pigs. So the risk of mycotoxins is dependent on the age and the health condition of the pigs and the level of the toxins present in the feed. The most serious effect of the death is the death of the animals, but low levels of the mycotoxins can impair the performance and the general welfare of the pigs. When the pigs consume the feeds containing the mycotoxins, so the toxins can affect the nervous system, the liver, kidneys, lungs, the immune system, or the reproduction of the cells. Mycotoxin in the pig production has a lot of affections. So today I want to talk about 4 mycotoxins in this show. So the first one is the aflatoxin. Second one is the ralilinol, and the third one is DON, and the last one is the fumonisinins. These are the mycotoxins of the greatest concern in the pigs industry. So each of these mycotoxins are produced by specific fungi, so requiring ideal conditions to promote their production. With high humidity and high temperature are the main requirements for that. So here I will talk about the aflatoxin. So aflatoxin affects the pig performance differently depending on the age and the health condition of the animals, so as well as the concentration of the toxins in the feed. So the young pigs are more sensitive to its effects. Symptoms occur with concentration in the range of the parts per billion, so it's ppb. Small amounts can reduce the performance and the general health of the pigs. Aflatoxin in low levels, like 20 to 200 ppb, reduces the immune system's response, making pigs susceptible to bacteria, virus, or some other disease. So prolonged exposure to the aflatoxin can lead to the liver damage, cancer, and jaundice and internal bleeding. Sometimes you will find the sudden death of the pigs. Over time, the profits of the farm will be reduced due to the loss of efficiency, slower growth, and the increased cost of the treatment, like the medicines or something like that. So when aflatoxin contamination levels are high concentrations, like 1,000 to 5,000 ppb, the effects are acute. So including the death, just as I mentioned. Aflatoxin M1 is a kind of aflatoxin. It is found in the milk of sows. So it will transfer to the piglets. Then it will affect the health condition and the growth of the piglets. So it is very important to us. The second one I want to talk about is the ZEN, zearalenone. It is one of the most seriously affect the reproduction performance of the sows. It can cause the changes in the genital system of immature goats. So visual changes including the redness of the vulva, and increase in size and the weight of the uterus and enlargement of the mammary gland. So in extreme cases, some very fatal some fetal effects will occur. So intake of the feed containing of 10 parts of per billion ppm of the mycotoxin ZEN is sufficient to alter the onset of the guilt. However, several studies show that the effects of this mycotoxin are not permanent, and that the gills can reproduce without reduction in fertility after a period of 2 weeks without ingesting this mycotoxin. So the diet containing 25 to 100 ppm of ZEN supplied continuously from weaning to rearing causes a severe case of infertility. Lactating cells are also susceptible to high concentration of ZEN. When fed with 50 to 100 ppm for 2 weeks before weaning and about 6 days after weaning, so they show constant estrus. Cells fed with the containing 10 ppm of ZEN during the last 14 days of lactation exhibit a prolonged interval from weaning to heat. So when males consume 40 ppm of ZEN from 14 to 18 weeks of the age, their libido levels decrease compared with untreated ones. So the farms with a history of the contamination of the diet with ZEN commonly report cases of stillbirth, mortality, fetal mummification, abortion, and abnormal return of estrus. So in addition, in most cases, the feed contaminated by mycotoxin has not been adequately tested, and the conclusion not drawn from the field observations. So therefore, it is possible that other mycotoxins with compared with ZEN are interacting to produce these effects. The third one is I want to talk about the DON. It is also a very common mycotoxins in the field. It commonly contaminates in corn, wheat, and DDGS, and the pigs are reported to be the most sensitive species. This mycotoxin interferes with protein synthesis, and also it will affect the immunity system. Despite what the name suggests, it really induces vomiting of pigs. The acute toxicity picture is uncommon, but it is only in this case that vomiting, diarrhea, several digestive lessons, and sudden death can be felt. So in most cases, this is a rapid decrease in feed consumption, lead to a reduction in the growth performance. The impacts on food intakes is depend on the contamination dosage, with an estimated 4% reduction in feed intake, or each additionally ppm of DON above the 1.5 ppm concentration in the diet. So the last one is I want to talk about fumonisins. So it is also a very common mycotoxins. This mycotoxin interfere with cell function and signaling in many tissues, but mainly the lungs, heart, and the liver. So they are also cause the immunosuppression. Acute toxicity causes the clinic picture of pulmonary edema, causing heart failure and fluid accumulation in the lungs. So the pigs will acute toxicity, have severe respiratory signs, which difficult, like the very difficult breathing and cause death. The chronic toxicity is due to the ingestion of small amounts of fumonisins for a prolonged period. Animals with chronic toxicity have lower feed intake and a lower growth performance, but it may also be more susceptible to secondary disease and cause a lot of other immune system disorders. So what will we do for these mycotoxins? Even with low concentration of the mycotoxins, this kind of grains or materials can affect the health and performance of our animals. Strategies for avoid this in the pig diet should be taken. So contaminated diets should be always avoided to use in the field, especially for the younger and breeding animals. So other strategies for this is with a high concentration of mycotoxins can be adopted, such as allocating these feeds to species less sensitive to mycotoxins, but it's not a good idea to do that. The inclusion of the mycotoxin absorbent to be used in the diet is a very good strategy now in the field. However, a lot of attention as mycotoxin absorbent are not usually effective against all the mycotoxins, because it can only work with the free mycotoxins, and sometimes it will break the nutrients level in the feed. When the animals take the feed into their body, some of the mycotoxin will release again. So it is not a very efficient method to avoid the mycotoxins. What do we do now? So we suggest to use some functional feed additives like the bile acids together with the absorbent. As you know, bile acids can protect the liver health. It can enhance the stimulation of the bile from the liver. It can help to eliminate the mycotoxins and endotoxins out of the liver. And according to the research, it showed that the bile acids can combine with the mycotoxins and decompose them directly. Some research shows that the fungal receptor as a kind of receptor of bile acids, it is related to the gene expression to decompose the mycotoxins. So through this way, bile acids together with the absorbent is a very better solution to the mycotoxins. So here is my sharing for today's show. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye.